and welcome to the Stash-down Diaries. My name is Jen, and this is my YouTube channel where I talk all about my knitting plans and projects and dreams because I am a knitting enthusiast and I'm trying to focus on using up my stash. So I do a little update each month. And this week I am doing an update actually because did I miss last week? Yes, I missed last week. I was on a staycation, so I didn't get around to recording last week. I apologize. So yeah, if you're new here, I know I have some new subscribers since I last recorded, so welcome. Thank you for subscribing. And just a little more about me. I am coming to you from beautiful Cape Breton Island in Atlantic Canada. And I am here with my 3 little critters. I have my 2 cats who are in their teenage phase right now, so sometimes they're wreaking havoc while I record. And then I have my little Texas rescue dog, Piper, so she is just here on the futon as usual. Anyway, now, what do I start with? Might as well start with acquisitions, because it'll be quick. So I have none. I was gonna go to Tracy's Rolling Yarn Shop for local yarn shop day, but I just could not justify a yarn purchase at that point. There wasn't anything that I was gonna cast on right away. So I've decided to wait until either she's in Bedeck, which is gonna be not this weekend, but next weekend, I think. Or is it this weekend? It might be this weekend. I'll have to check. But I'm also like out her way when she's on the cruise ship pavilion or if she's at her home base, so I might catch up with her there. So yeah, I do have things in mind to buy, but I just couldn't justify it at that time. So anyway, no acquisitions. And I have yeah, the update. Where is my update? Okay. So each month, if you're new, each month I tally up how many grams I've knit up versus how many grams I've purchased. So last month for April, I've had to purchase some Briggs and Little Heritage for my fire season blanket, and I purchased 2 skeins for that, and then I purchased 2 more skeins for a pattern that I've been wanting to knit. And just to make the shipping a little less painful, because that's what I do. I like to throw in stuff. If they make sense, if the yarn makes sense, I'll throw it into the order to make the shipping less painful. So I purchased 4 skeins of Briggs and Little Heritage, and that came in at 452 grams. And then for that month, I knitted my friend Belina here. And a few other things: checkerboard, mitts, cap, blanket, moose cap, turn back cap, which is a finished object I'm going to show you in a bit, and then I used up a ball of timber yarns. That one was a little premature. I didn't quite use it up yet, but I know I am. So anyway, that's 770 grams with a balance of negative 318 grams. So that's 318 grams out for the month of April. And for the year so far, that brings me to negative 1,553 grams. So it's almost time to do a new stash organization video because there are spaces in some of the yarn containers, and I would like to see if I can empty any of those containers at this point, because I have other places in my household and in my car. Well, I need one for my car, and I've been holding off on buying one because I want to see if I can use what I already have. I'm just flailing my pen around. But yeah, so last year I did the original stash organization in July, and I remember it being like super hot, and plus that wasn't like my greatest video. I was still kind of like figuring myself out with this whole thing and getting comfortable talking on camera. So yeah, this one coming up will be better. I think I'm going to do it the end of this month so that I'm not like sweltering while I'm like trying to record this long video. So that's going to come up soon. Maybe I'll do it the end of this month, or maybe I'll do it, yeah, the end of this month or the beginning of next month. So end of May, beginning of June. That'll be fun. All right, so I have a finished object, and this is part of my Saltwater Stashdown. So I have finished round 2 of my Saltwater Stashdown. If you don't know what that is, I'm knitting my way through the Saltwater knitting books by Christine LeGros and Shirley A. Scott. They are traditional, like, Newfoundland patterns. The first book is Saltwater Mittens, then they came out with Saltwater Classics, Saltwater Gifts, and Saltwater Socks. So this one is the turn back cap from Saltwater Gifts. Yeah, Saltwater Gifts. And it is knit out of Briggs & Little Heritage in the Quaddy Blue colorway. I'm not sure what this hat's destiny is yet. If one of my family members want it, or somebody in my life wants it, they can have it. It's a little bit big on me. I don't know where the split is supposed to go. I'll have to look at the picture again. But anyway, there is that. Did I say the colorway? Quaddy Blue? Ugh. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, so this is the second pattern out of the Saltwater Gifts book. So I'm through all the second patterns in the books. So I'm going to take a little reprieve while I finish some things, as you're going to see why in a minute. The things I'm going to show you aren't even all of the whips that I have right now. So I pick a theme every month. I have the overarching theme for the year, which is the year of the garment. And then I pick a theme each month. I did finishing things for February, and I'm going to do it again for May because they're my rules and I'm allowed to do duplicates because there's going to be multiple sock months. So there's that. Maybe I'll do a whole saltwater month and do like 2 rounds in 1 month. That would be challenging, I think. So anyway, that is that. The turn back cap and Briggs & Little Heritage. So gearing up for round 3 for the Saltwater Stashdown. Now we need to have a conversation about my fire season blanket, especially if you've seen it on Instagram lately. Maybe the picture was not of the whole thing, so maybe you didn't notice. So my last video was about dye lot disasters, because I had a couple of them. And one of those was in the fire season blanket. Now I've ripped out the entire blanket that I had so far and started reknitting it, but not because of the dye lot. So I will tell you what happened. It was about halfway through April. Yeah, about halfway through April. Oh, first let me tell you what the fire season blanket is in case you haven't seen it before. You know how people do the temperature blanket and they'll knit a certain amount of rows each day for a year, and the color that they choose represents the temperature for that day. Well, I'm doing the same thing, except I'm doing it for the fire weather index, and I'm picking the highest fire weather index for Cape Breton that day. So there are 5 or 6 fire weather stations in Cape Breton: Grand River Falls, Coxsackie, Norman, North Mountain, Marguerite, and McLeod Settlement. That's the other one. Yeah, so there's 6. So I pick whichever one has the highest fire weather index for the day. So when I started this, I thought, well, I didn't do my research. We should do our research. Anyway, I thought that people were knitting 2 rows a day for their temperature blanket. So I thought, okay, since this blanket is only for 7 months of the year, not a whole 12 months of the year, I can knit double that. I can knit 4 rows. So I started doing that. I had a hard time catching up, first of all, whenever I would like lag behind for a few days. Really hard time catching up. And then I measured it. I can't remember what it was in meters, but it was going to come out to like 11.5 feet if I kept going. And it's not a super wide blanket, and I don't need an 11-foot blanket. So yeah, I can kind of see, it's a little bit bunched up, but you can kind of see the width. So this, like, not super narrow, or super wide, I mean, by like over 11 feet. It was 3 point something meters. I can't remember. If I had one of my GOOGLE devices, and I'm spelling it so yours don't activate in case. Well, I didn't say the hey word before it, so probably wouldn't, because that has happened to me. But anyway, if I had that right here, I'd just ask it, but it's downstairs. So here we go. So I frogged the whole thing because I decided to go with 2 rows per day instead. Now that is so much easier to catch up with, for one. And for two, it's going to be a normal length. So I frogged it, recast it all on, and I love the narrower stripes, first of all. Love it. And then I decided to, of course, eliminate the discrepancy in the dye lot. But that is not the only thing I did. When I was looking at people's temperature blankets to see like how many rows they would do a day, which is 1. They were doing 1, they weren't doing 2. So now I'm doing 2 rows a day so that we have like purl bumps. Each purl bump is a day. One thing that I noticed some people do is that they put a white stripe to differentiate the months, and I thought that was cool. So that is another thing that I did. And then of course I removed the dye lot. I like this shade of the color so much more. I'm hoping I don't run into this again because I'm probably going to have to order more yarn later on. But look at it. I stinking love it. So you can see the rain events, right? So we started out on March 15th, and the weather stations aren't really super up and going. I think there was only one that was actually reporting at that time, and that was Grand River Falls in like the southern part of Cape Breton. And so it was on 0 starting out. So this is the color. I decided to add a color for 0 just to, well, because otherwise my entire month of March would have been blue, right? So that's no fun. I need some stripes. Anyway. So yeah, it started out as 0, and then we started to get into low, like a little higher into low. 0 is low, but you know what I mean. And then it rained, and then it started to go up a little higher in the low category again, and then it rained. And then it started to go up a little bit again, and then it rained. And then it started to go up more, and we actually got to moderate. There's moderate right there. And then, I don't know, the humidity must have went up, so it went back down to low, and then it rained. And then low, and then it rained. So you can see where all the rain events are. And then here, and I love this because I really got to see how the colors go together. So we went from moderate, and then Grand River Falls went to very high. So that's this color right here. It's called Melon. And then it was high. And then of course, if we switched over to May, and we had high, and then now we have moderate, and I didn't add, I think I have to add 2 or 3, and they are all moderate. So all green right here. No, today is low. Yeah, today's low. So I think I have like 2 more days of moderate and then a day of low. So yeah, I'm so glad that I decided to rip it out and restart it this way, because the stripes are narrower, which I really enjoy, and I really like the differentiation of the months and all that fun stuff. Oh, the other thing I did, because I wanted it, like, I wasn't sure if cutting it back to 2 rows would then make it too short. So I went up in needle size. I was on a 5mm, and now I'm on a 5.5mm. So that is another thing I did to change it up. So the way I see it, that was a lot of knitting, but the way I see it is it was just a big gauge swatch. That's what it turned out to be, which is fine. So I'm going to talk about the colors. So this is Brigus and Little Heritage yarn. And how many of the colors? So 3, I'm using 6 colors, and 3 of them are from, no, I'm using 7 colors now because I have the white. So 4 of them are from Briggs and Little's regular range. So the dark maroon, the gold, the What is this? This is bleached white. And then one that has not shown up yet because we have not had extreme fire weather is light maroon. So those are the 4 regular ones, but then there's these 3 special colors from Deanne Fitzpatrick Studios. And this is Northern Sky. And then this melon right here is called Melon. Imagine that. And then this green is called Folly Mountain Spruce. So yeah, that is them. So I might have to make another order to Deanne Fitzpatrick Studio at some point, but if I kept going, I would have had to, like, right now, because I used up the first skein of Northern Sky. Like, this is what's left. Oh, the little ball rolled under. There we go. This is what's left. And even though we're like kind of out of April, we're probably going to get into more, I think moderate will probably be coming up a little bit, excuse me, more frequently. So yeah, that is that. Okay, what else have I got? Let's talk about Vinter Saw. Not as far along as I'd hope, but I have been working on it every week. Let us look. So this is the Vinter Saw sweater by Jennifer Steingass. And let me see, I had a marker where I left off from last time. Here it is. So this is what I've knit since my last video. So not super great. Kind of like one of the reasons why I really need a finishing month. So, and I want to cast on another garment. So this one is just hanging on for too long. That's partially my fault though, because I haven't been working on it as much as I should be. I think I'll give it some love this evening, along with that other ball of timber yarns that I haven't used up, but I'll show you that in a minute. But yeah, so here it is. Ooh, there we go. I mentioned in a previous video, we're going to see how this neck works out. If I'm not cool with it, I'll just rip it out and redo it, because this was knit from here up, and you had a provisional cast on right here, so you start knitting down. But I love how the colors came together. Glad I picked these. I love a really nice skyish blue. Blue is my jam. And most of the things I knit are like some form of blue or blue-green or teal. But anyway, yeah, there it is. It's knit out of Let Lopey. I've always wanted a Lopey sweater. So this is going to be for almost like a top layer if I have to go out and shovel in the wintertime or anything like that. Or instead of a jacket in the fall, I'll throw this on. Probably not campfire. I would like to have a campfire sweater though. Although I do have my my Stanfield's wool sweaters for that too. But anyway, I'm babbling, so maybe I'll stop doing that. So that is that one. I need to do better. You can coach me or cheer me on and just be like, Jen, do better with your Vinter Saw. So that is that one. It is in my very kooky Fat Squirrel Fibers bag. Miss Ginny was just here, like kind of creeping around. I thought she was going to get up to no good, but now she is on her kitty condo behaving herself. And Maisie is in the other kitty condo behaving herself, so we're good for now. So the next thing I want to talk about is my Cranberry Fizz shawl, and that is by Helen Stewart. And it was a pattern that she released in her knit vent last year, and I didn't do a whole lot on it. I really enjoy knitting this, so I just had other things that I wanted to work on. So but this is only how far I got, which is sad. Now I'm kind of torn. I want to work on the Vinter Saw tonight, but I also kind of want to work on this. Decisions. But this glorious colored yarn is from Wool and Wanderlust. and it is their Little Lotus colorway. I'm amazed that I remembered that, and it is a beaded shawl. I don't know if you can see those little beads. I used what I had on hand. I have some beads there. I don't know what they're for. Well, I didn't know what these were originally for either. So I decided I'll use them in this, and if I need beads for a future project, I'll just get the beads I need. But yeah, it could have been one of those situations where I wanted to make my shipping costs more worthwhile, so I ordered a couple of extra tubes of just regular clear white beads. So anyway, yeah, so this is just your regular triangular shawl. It is enjoyable as a nice comfort knit. Nothing much to overthink. The beading rows do slow you down a little bit, but then you get to a number of just like straight rows and eyelet rows. So I love it. I love this color. Would recommend. I think that's all I have to say about that. Now let's talk about socks. I have a sock completed. This is just a vanilla sock out of opal yarn whose label I lost, so I'm not sure which one it is. Oh, I'm casting a shadow. Here we go. There. No shadow on my face. So, yeah. I have to get cracking on these and the other ones that I'm about to show you because they have to be shipped. But I always do a heel flip and gusset. That is my go-to heel because I find that is what fits my foot better, and I'm just making the assumption it fits the rest of my family's feet better, as maybe we all have like the same shaped feet or similar. I don't know. That's what I've been knitting for people and nobody's like said anything. So yeah, I think I did 20 rows for the cuff, and yeah, and the my source for my original vanilla socks that I started knitting is Stephanie Pearl McPhee's A Good Plain Sock Recipe. It is in, oh, that book got moved. Yeah, I think it's in Knitting Rules. Excuse me. So that is the first sock, and then I have a partial other sock, and this is my favorite pattern for self-striping socks, and it is the Heel Toe Do-Si Do by Kay of the Crazy Sock Lady. And the back is vanilla, and the front has this nice like creates this nice like zigzag pattern on the stripes, which makes it a little more interesting to knit. So yeah, there's that. And this is Knit Picks Felici in the teacup colorway. It's been in my stash for quite some time, so I'm happily using it. Same thing, 20 rows for the cuff, 2x2 cuff. I will be doing a heel flap and gusset. These socks and the other ones are for the same person, so I gotta get cracking on them and get them in the mail. So that is those. Don't know why I haven't knit this color before. It's very pretty. I really like it. So yeah. Oh, and I knit on a 2.25 millimeter needle. And these ones here, these are High Sharps. I think they're my favorite. I do have a pair of Zings, and I do like those as well, except the join isn't as nice as these ones. But like, look, they've seen better days. Can you see the bump like closer to my fingers? It's interesting. Wait, we'll cover my face and see if it focuses. Oh, that doesn't work. Does it? I can't tell because I can't see. Anyway, so that is socks. Will we talk about scrappy stuff? Because I have a really good segue, because speaking of socks, I knitted scrappy socks. So these are for an advent calendar that I am making for myself, that I'm going to string along my fireplace. I'm going to get little numbers or something, maybe at Michael's or whatever, to stick on them. And I will load them with chocolate each year instead of buying an advent calendar, and I'll be like putting in the chocolate that I really want in it, which is like the most, it's probably the best part of this whole thing. So I've knit These are, I think I'm at 12. Yeah, I'm at 12. I'm trying to knit 2 a month, but then I had to knit 2 extra because of December. And I noticed last month that I was falling behind. We was getting to the end of the month and I had to go count how many I had. They're all in here. I had to count how many I had to see where I was at, and it turned out I did not have April's done. So I pulled this ball of yarn. I think it is Flot Sock. It is one of my favorites of the Christmas yarns that I used for my socks. It is lovely. And yeah, so I pulled that out and I knit the 4 pairs out of it because there's four socks, 2 pairs. There's 2 pairs for each type of yarn. So April and May are done. And there's a pretty good chance that I am just going to, in June, knit, or in May actually, knit June and July's as well. Because when I knit out of that yarn, it goes to another Scrappy project. And if I start getting like to a point where a Christmas yarn would go really well in that Scrappy project, which is, they're all blankets, just FYI, they're all blankets. If a Christmas yarn would go good in a certain spot, then I might want a yarn out of there. So anyway, all that to say, what is the pattern? I think it's Teeny Socks. Yeah, Teeny Socks by Summer Lee. And you can find that on Ravelry. I can't remember if it's free or not. I don't know. I'm not sure. But they are adorable. Getting a little, trying to get a little ahead on them so that they're done in time for December 1st. And I'm really enjoying how like the self-patterning and self-striping ones all like look super different. Look at this one. I love that one. So yeah, what else was I gonna say about that? I don't know. Oh, I'm gonna have to do an I-cord for that too. Maybe I should get one of those tools. That might be a good idea. Okay, so that is that. Second last project. So since we're talking about Scrappy projects, I pulled my Northeasterly Blanket back out because I wanted to use up a ball of yarn. One of the things I love is using up scrap yarns completely and then going into my stash on Ravelry and checking it off as all used up. So I'm almost there. I did count this yarn in April, but it doesn't matter because it's just a little scrap ball. It's not like it's a giant blanket or sweater. And it's like an ongoing stash down. Like I don't have goals for each month. It's just grams out have to be bigger than grams in. But here is, that's the back. Yeah, here it is. Getting worked up. I love Timber Yarns. This is their Silver Bells colorway, the like marled version. And it is lovely. I made myself a Musselburgh hat out of this. And now it's going in the blanket. And this blanket I am actually keeping for myself. I have others that I'm not 100% sure what I'm doing with. Fire season I'm keeping for myself. But I think I'm giving away Jelly Roll, even though I love it. But how many blankets does a person need, really? But yeah. So I'm using all self-striping yarns in this blanket. Did I say who it was by? It's by Skein-Anigans. So all self-striping sock yarns are living in this blanket. I really want to, and one of the things that I almost bought was the yarn to finish off my barn raising square blanket. I might put a couple more self-striping squares in there. When I laid it out, I decided that I only needed like 2 more squares, but I might lay it out again and decide to make it bigger because I have so much self-striping yarn. I don't want to put too much of a ball in here because then it ends up being super long compared to the other ones. I'm just knitting until it's all gone. But like, see this one here? This one is like really long compared to some of the others. But anyway, it's fine. It's all fine. That's my scrappy knitting for the last 2 weeks. And finally, my newest cast on / finished object that might get frogged is this one. So last month the theme was using 2023 stash. So I sequestered the sock yarns to go live with the sock yarns for summer sock camp, because that's coming up. I think I'm going to do a video for planning that, but anyway. So those ones, they got pushed off, but then I still had, so I had the Cranberry Fizz yarn that I cast that on last month. And then I had this other ball of West Yorkshire Spinners Croft Aran. This is in the Seafield colorway. I absolutely love it. I had issues, okay, with what to knit this. I want a little bandana, right? So I started, I can't remember the name of the pattern, but it's a more, it's stockinette, and you start with narrow strips, and like the increases every 4th row, and then you go increase every 2nd row. So it starts narrow and then starts to grow wider a little quicker. But it curled, and I knew it was going to curl, but I didn't know like when, like I thought just the skinny ends were going to curl, and that's kind of what it's supposed to do because it's supposed to come together like a little tie. And I just didn't like how much the top part curled. So I frogged it. And then I started knitting this one, and it was gloriously mindless. The only thing is, I don't know if it's as long as I want. So I'm like wondering if I should frog it and stretch out, frog it, reknit it, stretch out the increases, and make it a narrower tip here. Or, well, I haven't blocked it yet, so I don't actually know what the finished measurements are. Or should I just keep it? Block it and keep it. I don't know. I kind of want it maybe to be a little bit narrower here. I'm going to have to think on it. Maybe I'll block it and see how it works and like try to stretch it and block it right out. So this pattern that I used is called Mantle of the Garden by Meg Anderson Kilfoyle. And this yarn I really enjoy. I want to do garments out of this yarn. This is why I purchased it, because I wanted to try it. And I have the ones for my checkerboard mitts that I knit last month and really, really like those. So, and actually these 2 colorways that I purchased would have went really nice together in a single project, but I just couldn't, like, I really wanted fingerless mitts out of the other one. If you watched my knitting story one, you know I have a thing for fingerless mitts. So it is how I ended up knitting. But that is this. The ends aren't woven in yet. I'm thinking I will go and block it because I'm wondering if I can get her pulled out a bit more. I don't know, because that bottom still might be a bit deep. Wait. Am I going to get it around? Oh, no. That's too tight. Yeah, I don't know. Things I have to ponder. Okay, I think, well, that's it for me for today. What is coming up? For the long weekend, I think I'm going to do, that's coming in 2 weeks' time. I think before then, because I'll be busy that weekend, I think I'll pre-record my summer sock camp planning video. It's going to be a fun one. So I'm probably going to do that. And then after that, I'll do a regular video. And then after that, I'll do the stash organization update, and you can join me to find out how much space I have now, because last year I used up over 4,000 grams of yarn, and that is like 40 skeins. So there should be space here, plus what I've used up so far this year, which is like 15 skeins. Like, there's got to be room for stuff and for me to reclaim a plastic bin in another area of my household or my car. So yeah, so that is what's going to come up. If you enjoyed this, please hit that like button and subscribe and comment down below and let me know where you're watching from. And until the next time, take care. Bye. Thank you.